So today I want to talk about one of the core principles of building not only a product but a movement, and that's the idea of 1,000 true fans. So the idea of 1,000 true fans, I'm sure many of you are familiar with, popularized by Kevin Kelly. He had an essay by the same name. Is essentially the concept that it's far more important to get a small group of people to really love you than to get a whole bunch of people who just kind of like you. And so the whole premise of his piece was that if you can get 1,000 true fans, people who will buy anything and everything you put out, you can make a living as an artist or as a creator. Um, I in kind of starting out, I was very much against that idea because I saw all these, whether it was musicians or artists or even tech companies. They were all based on growth. They were all built. The ones that we knew about were the ones that were huge, that had millions of users or millions of fans. And so the idea of kind of focusing in on just 1,000, I didn't want that. And so I was always kind of pushing growth, not really honing in the product, not really focusing on cultivating that initial user base before, piling on features or kind of trying to, get ahead of myself. This last year or two has really changed my opinion on that, and I see the real importance of 1,000 true fans. Because the important thing about 1,000 true fans and focusing on making a group of people absolutely love you or love your product and love everything about your product is that it doesn't stop at 1,000. You don't just get to 1,000 and then that's the group. Sometimes if you're in a super specialized niche, then maybe there's an upper bound, but generally if you can get a group of people to be obsessed with whatever it is that you've built or whatever art that you're putting out, there are a ton more people like that that you can then bring on, and not only you don't even have to be the one necessarily bringing them on. Your other fans will be so enamored by what you've built that they'll do the petitioning for you. They'll do the marketing for you. They'll tell their friends, and ultimately any truly successful product that hits scale or truly successful artist that hits scale is not going one by one and telling people, hey, check out my mixtape or hey, download my app. It's because they've given it to, they've seeded that first 10, 100,000 people, but after that 1,000, it's about spreading through word of mouth. And the only way something is going to spread through word of mouth, think in your daily lives, you only share things with your friends that are really exceptional. If an app is just kind of okay, it's nice, you're not going to tell your friends about that. It's not even going to cross your mind to come up in conversation. Same thing with like an okay song. So you have to make something truly exceptional. Once you do that, it tends to be really easy to spread, because again, you just focus on that initial group, those 1,000 true fans, which is a lot easier than you'd think once you have a product worth putting out there. And so I think as I'm starting to grow, as we get into testing at least, and we're starting to get this group of people, the core of objective of testing is not to get as many people as possible, is to get the people who use it to love it as much as possible, and to really craft the experience to be exceptional to the point where they're telling people, hey, you have to get on this, and then those people are emailing in and saying, hey, can I get an invite or what have you. You want to make it that incredible of an experience, and so that's the goal, that's the approach, and really the objective over these upcoming months of testing, until we get to full launch, because I don't want to just keep adding on features and launch and put it out to the world before it's really tuned in. I want to put it in front of some people, obviously. I want to get feedback, but I only want to put it out there once it's really been carefully crafted. So what did I do this week? Well, I talked about last week. There were some issues with different phones showing images or not showing images and not showing navigation bars. I found out that was an iOS 13 issue because we've been building it for iOS 14. But obviously some people will still have iOS 13, so we wanted to accommodate those people, and so made the changes necessary for that. And then the other thing that I worked on was the login bug. So there was an issue with logging in if you went to the sign up page and entered your information, then went back and tried to log in. An obscure flow, but something that somebody might go through. There was a bug where it crashed, and obviously we never want that to happen. So resolve that bug as well. And I'm sure these will kind of keep coming up, hopefully less frequently, but as they come up, prioritize the bug so that a user never has to experience a crash. So what's next? What am I going to work on this week? Well, first, the aspect ratio of the thumbnails, whether it's on the Explore page or on the Profile page, is off right now. It looks too stretched out. Obviously, we don't want that, so I want to refine that. Things are looking good from the server side. I have to double check that, but for some reason when they're coming in, they're getting stretched out on the front end. And so obviously we need to refine that. The other things I'm going to work on are the settings and edit profile views. And I've gone back and forth with settings so many times in terms of what's actually contained in settings versus what's contained in edit profile. What's absolutely necessary right now. Again, you want to keep it to just the things that are super necessary. And so just refining those, making sure that at least for this initial set of users, the core tools are there, and then the infrastructure is there for adding other things later on as they come up, and more users are using it, new use cases will come up, we'll need to add more settings, but for now, get those bare bones in place, and again, make sure that experience is really smooth. As always, like, subscribe. We're fully into testing now, so this is really exciting. Talk to you guys soon.